Into more important issues. More important issues is brought to you by our sponsors, Tennessee Tap House, Hound Dogs, and Blue Water Climate Control. And here's a quick word from our good friends at Blue Water Climate Control.
People always ask, where did we get the name Blue Water Climate Control? When a Navy ship casts off lines, exits the harbor, and loses sight of land, that's blue water sailing. It takes a team of people to do that. Tireless work, focus, and attention to detail. So much of starting a business is just like that. After it's done, you get filled with deep satisfaction for accomplishing something. And it's quickly followed by, now the real work begins. We're Blue Water Climate Control.
Are back.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! Ball is by Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch. Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre, and Tennessee can say hello, win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better. We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now.
I made up my mind. I don't expect to ever look back. I'm going to stay at the University of Tennessee.
What is up, everybody? Welcome into a brand new episode in a brand new time slot. This is not one of those weeks where we had to change it over to accommodate our lives. This is it. You're in the new Thursday. It says Wednesday. Look at that. I'm not even used to it yet. Like the change is so new, but this is the new Thursday edition of More Important Issues. Welcome in, guys. Excited to get a show going. It's been SEC Media. Why do they not just call it SEC Media Week? It pretty much takes up a whole week. But SEC Media Days, we've got, apparently, there are talks of a new conference. I am indifferent. I'm also just like, I hate college football structure. I think it's so stupid. So we'll get into that.
I just hate college football.
You don't hate college football. That's why I couldn't say that. I wouldn't mean it. It's like me when I say I hate the MAC. It's just not true. It's not. We're going to talk about some of the maybe uniform changes. And I've got like I don't know. No, I mean, first off, it's a way better uniform change, but it also needs to be tweaked even more. And I hope that's the case. I'm also curious if it's final. It's another thing. We do have some more BaseVols news this week. Some guys officially are gone, signed, whatever you want to call it. And then you got some news of some guys returning. Excited for this team's going to be really good this year.
Hello Win column is going to be tweeted out a lot.
It's going to be tweeted out a lot. This team's going to be really, really good. I think a lot of people were kind of nervous because you did lose some big pieces, but Tony Vitello, I mean, guys, he didn't build a house out of straw. I know that. He keeps talking about temporary stance. He needs to throw that word out of his vocabulary. Nothing's temporary about this guy.
It started off as straw. When he got here, it was definitely made of straw.
Yeah, it was mud. It was on mud. The mud was the foundation, but he threw some brick in that mud, and we're good to go. So yeah, he needs to throw that word temporary out. He's done. He's here. He's signed. That's a lifetime contract as far as I'm concerned. So
yeah, it's definitely
he's not that old. Yeah. If you guys have questions, drop them in the chat. Always here to talk whatever y'all want to talk about, and we'll do it. And Vol Mike, not a question, but he said, watch some great film from practice from an undisclosed balcony, and I can say Milton will be the starter. Mike, don't do that. You're going to get, if it is real, DM me. If it isn't, if it is real, DM me. But also, let's not say it publicly because that's how that balcony gets blown up immediately.
Yeah, Mike. We've been through this before. Number one, like all this hype around Joe Milton.
He's saying he has film, though.
Yeah, but I mean, before he had got this film, we've heard Joe Milton is the next coming of Jesus Christ and Cam Newton and whoever else. And not that I'm throwing the two in the same category.
I need to know if Jesus Christ was 240 pounds, that was a big ass cross. That's all I'm saying. Like, if that's the case.
True.
So Joe Milton probably
that makes it even more impressive, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Is that the right word?
That he carried it up there?
Oh, Yeah, that's okay. Good spin zone. That was a great spin zone.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
Vol Mike, if you got it, send it to me.
Send it our way.
Yeah. Well, let's see what he's got. Is this routes on air? I got to know.
Ooh, that's a good point. But to be fair, our starting quarterback last year couldn't hit a wide receiver in stride against air. So,
I beg to differ. He was the best practice player that's ever lived, Caleb.
Well, then the other guys couldn't practice for shit because the practice I saw was not great. Send it our way, Mike. And then someone else just said what they heard on radio. He is a starter. I mean, we'll see. I'm not saying Joe Milton's out of the race or anything. Hey, so let's talk SEC Media Days. I'll say this too. I hate that we have to talk about it, but it's all we have to talk about. So we're gonna talk about it.
Right.
Like if there were games going on right now, I wouldn't care to hear what any other of the coaches, Josh Heupel, anybody had to say. But it's it. So we'll do it.
I guess one of the main takeaways of that is I guess Alante and Velus Jones are going to be your starters at their positions.
Yeah.
And they did do it really. I thought they did a good job. I thought they took two guys who have some experience with the media.
I was about to say those two guys are pretty well spoken, anyways.
Yeah, Velus Jones has his own vlog on YouTube, and then Alante is in all those leadership committees and stuff on campus. So yeah, I thought they did a great job in front of the camera. But a lot of SEC Media Days, it's about coach speak, and it's kind of introducing new coaches to the SEC. You have the Ed Orgeron and the Sabins who have been here Jimbo Fisher who have been here for a little bit. But you also have a bunch of new guys year in and year out because they can't keep up with the people above them.
Yeah, and I mean, there's no one's going to win or lose on SEC Media Days. I will say this: I'm glad Tennessee, nobody looked at Josh Heupel and was at least from what I could tell, and I'm not just talking about Tennessee fans, just other SEC media people, other SEC fans. No one was well, that dude looks like an idiot. So that's a win, I guess, kind of. It's a start.
Right.
But the reason I don't look into it, and I did like the tweet, so I'll give him, he tweeted what my thoughts were. They were my thoughts. I just obviously didn't tweet it first, but he did a great job. So I'll see if I can find this tweet. But it just goes every year, and me and you have talked about this because I'm when Butch left, we're I just want somebody who doesn't have the coach speak bull crap. And then when Jeremy Pruitt left, we're that dude was dumber than a bag of rocks. We need somebody who can speak well. So I'm I'm not what is it going to be about Heupel if and when he leaves? I don't know. That's my question.
I don't know. I thought he handled himself pretty well. I mean, we said this from his first press conference when he got introduced that, we heard beforehand that he wasn't great with the media. And I thought, that's not at all what I've thought from the get-go.
But again, I want to see if we're going to talk about how someone handles himself in the media. Let's see what happens in losses. Because SEC Media Days is essentially just a fluff piece. No one's getting thrown hard hitters. No one's it's there for the SEC to pad their, viewership.
But he sounded a lot better than Jeremy Pruitt did when he spoke to the media.
At SEC Media Days?
I'm talking about in front of the media. He just seems to be more comfortable in his own skin.
Yeah, but I thought Jeremy Pruitt did okay at SEC Media Days. I mean, there was never one that I was oh, what in the world is this guy doing? So that's what I'm saying. Let's see Josh Heupel after a game. If we're gonna grade media performances, let's wait at least until after a loss. That's all I'm saying.
You can say he's been fine up to this point. I'm not saying he should be the next president of the United States or write speeches for the president. I'm just saying I thought he handled himself well.
But I think every coach had it. That's my point.
Yeah, that's my
point.
He didn't mess it up for anybody.
Yeah, he didn't put himself back. But Volatile 865 tweeted, "We like Butch because he was a good talker. We like Pruitt because he didn't mess around with coach speak. I like Heupel when he wins. No press conference has ever won the SEC before. Agreed. That's all I'm saying. So SEC Media Days, I enjoy watching them just because I'm craving football right now. But let's be honest, they're meaningless. It's stupid. It's a fluff piece for the SEC. They get viewership now on their own network. They get to all of the people who don't normally have access to the coaches and the 2 or 3 players they select to come down there have access that day. So that's all it is. I don't know. Do you learn anything new at SEC Media Days? I don't think so.
No, absolutely not. I mean, I guess what he really talked about, stuff that I thought that was interesting, is when he came in, he obviously had the meeting with the players and asked them what they needed from him. And it seemed like the cohesiveness of the team just wasn't there. And we heard Addison Nichols kind of talk to Grant Ferking on his recruiting visit and say Jeremy Pruitt put the walk-ons in a totally different locker room. I mean, how are you able to
Which I love. Do you think Brad Calipari had his own locker room, or do you think his was earned and not given? Do you think he got to be in the same locker room?
Good point.
Yeah.
I don't know. But then you have like Josh Heupel actually mentioned a walk-on in. I mean, it was because of the NLI stuff, but still.
And they're going to have to play some walk-ons this year.
Well, yeah, that's probably true too. But yeah, I just felt like he sounded comfortable. He sounded like he wanted to, get this team kind of connected, and that kind of goes back to the dodgeball and the softball and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if it translates into wins. I guess we'll find out.
No,
but.
I mean, I think that was another cool thing though, relating back to that, is he was like, now that there's money being made in it, it's not quite the same. It changes the level of why and how players kind of go about it in college athletics. But he talked about like, yeah, national championships are great. Like that's awesome. And like, we want to establish that culture. Like at the end of the day, it's also about the experience. And I mean, I genuinely think as a fan, that's pretty, like, obviously we want to win national championships, but like these guys that come back, I mean, look at all the guys that are still hanging around the program in the last 10, 15 years. They didn't win crap, but they love Tennessee because of their experience. So it's like, I shouldn't say not win crap, but like when we're relating to championships, they didn't. So like no offense to those guys, like no offense to those guys at all. I mean, it's the truth in the sense of that. But like you enjoyed your experience at Tennessee, and you enjoyed your experience in college football or college basketball or college baseball, whatever it may be. So that's why, and like, so that in my eyes is a really, really cool like way to kind of go about it, your business. And like, I mean, the players talked about that, how I think it was Bayless was like, we hang around the locker room an hour after just to hang out like with each other. So like that is cool when we talk about that. So like I do, as far as Josh Heupel just sounding like a coach, he seems like I mean, I'm sure he enjoys the money as well, but he seems like a dude who really just wants to like be around players and be around teammates. And that's cool to me. I will say that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, he seems like it's not really a job to be a head coach. Yeah. It is, but
I'm sure he'll take the money though.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, it seems like he just wants to be here. From what I got from his.
Well, I mean, I don't even know if it's necessarily Tennessee, but like he wants to coach and he wants to be around a team. Like he's a coach. Yeah. Like that was the whole thing with Jeremy Pruitt.
He wants to be involved in a player's life.
That was like the whole thing with Jeremy Pruitt is like, I don't know what I would do if I didn't coach football. Like, I don't know if that's necessarily Josh Heupel's philosophy, but he seems like I really, really like this is what I want to do.
And I think the hope for Josh Heupel is he is that happy medium between, let's call it like it is. We like Butch Jones because he was a salesman. He could hype up anything. And we like Jeremy Pruitt because he was a football guy. He was the complete opposite of Butch Jones. So hopefully Josh Heupel is that happy medium where he can sell a program and
I'm not even going to say medium. I'm going to say like the extreme opposites of each. Like I need him to be, so he has to meet on like the opposite side.
The two biggest strengths of each.
He has to be like, so like here's the middle of them. He has to be like all the way around the globe as far from each as he can get from them. That's what I would do.
But what if the earth is flat, Caleb?
Still two extremes. He's on each. Now he's on each. Yeah, each side. So we're fine. We're good.
Yeah,
that situation worked for you flat earthers too. Shout out Kyrie.
There's South Poles. We're headed to the north.
Butch recruited. I mean, the same thing with what he sold, Killer Dude. That's actually his name, by the way, guys. You like Butch Jones because he could sell a program before he got on the field and shown what he really did, and we like Butch how he recruited before the players found out like what the program really did. So like, yeah, he could sell stuff, but when it came down to actually doing it, that's a different story.
Yeah, hopefully he's a sales guy. Hopefully Josh Heupel is a sales guy who can also coach a little bit of football.
Walk the walk.
Yeah,
that's all you need.
We need a football guy and also have some enthusiasm
for sure
to him.
I'll say this too: for Tennessee, probably had the most talk from any program in the SEC to other coaches. They asked Lane Kiffin about Tennessee. They asked what's his name, the Pirate. Mike Leach. They asked him about Tennessee. So
how does a coaching search always come up?
Yeah, I mean, because let's be honest, the most insane things to happen in Mike Leach's career was that he got offered the deal for Tennessee, and then the guy that offered it to him virtually fell off the face of the earth. Lane Kiffin left a job that he just talked infinite amount of shit at for a year in the middle of the night and told recruits not to go to class. Or sorry, his assistant coach, who's also in the SEC as a head coach, told recruits not to go to class so that they can enroll at USC. So, like, two just insane things involve three coaches in the SEC. So I get how it's brought up. Under like 100%.
Yeah.
Nick Saban, it's like what it was mentioned. The dude is just, I don't know how he constantly adapts, but I mean, he sold every recruit to Alabama for the rest of it. Like, right? Just walking up there and being like, yeah, my quarterback got a 7-figure deal this week.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Josh Heupel just said, yeah, everybody on our team got a 7-figure deal.
Yeah, Graham Morgan just mentioned, he said, what do you think of a player with a lucrative NIL deal that he or she offers money to a highly rated recruit to attend their university? I call it free market, baby. Let's get this ball rolling.
Yeah, I mean, I was telling my wife about this. She was joking about the McDonald's bags, and I was like, listen, Jeremy Pruitt was just 1 year ahead of the game.
He was a step behind, but what he didn't know is he was still a step ahead, but also he didn't know he's like 3 steps behind still.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You
He
can't
thought
do
he
it
was a
like
step
that.
ahead. Yep. He thought he was a step ahead, but he was actually a flight behind. So,
Right.
yeah, that's the, every coach should have walked up there, whether true or not, because I don't know if anyone fact checked that Bryce Young got a 7-figure deal. They should have walked up and been like, I would like to announce my starting quarterback just signed a 7-figure deal. To where, coach? Nah, none of your business. Don't worry about it. It happened. Move on.
Mom and
next
pop
question.
car lot. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, he took the entire salary of that car lot.
I mean, that's NCAA. Like, they can get money. I don't want to know where it's coming from, but there you go. Just put them with the company somewheres.
Yeah. Is this true? I assume he meant that he said the 2000. Okay, here's Killer Dude said, here's a heck of a stat. The 2001 team had 17 players go to the NFL. The 2016 team had 16. How we weren't a playoff team is a miracle. We didn't even make it to the SEC championship or a New Year's Six Bowl that year.
Because we lost.
Scratch the playoffs. But yeah, that is an insane stat. Thank you for pulling that up. Yeah.
Actually, not thank you. That is a terrible stat. That makes me feel terrible.
William Poole said the admin pulling the carpet from under Butch, $150K max for an OC. I mean, is that DeBoer just made $150K? And then Larry Scott, sure, they paid more than 100. I mean, I'm going to look it up. There's no way.
Larry Scott, that was the worst hire in history for an offensive coordinator.
Yeah, he shouldn't have been paid more than $150,000. So I hope that's actually true. I hope it's true.
That was a terrible year. God,
Yeah,
that was sickening.
I got some other stuff to talk about SEC Media Day. As far as Eli Drinkowitz, I'm a fan now. You see what he said about the horn? You see what he said about the horns down?
No, I didn't.
He said, he asked, SEC commissioner, I'm losing
Greg
his name
Sankey.
now. He asked Greg Sankey if it'd be legal to do horns down in the SEC. Love it.
Yeah, I mean we're about to get into that.
Canales earned $300,000, so there's no way Larry Scott only earned $150,000.
Canales had that much money to
be an offensive coordinator and just fly around and show off his backpack.
Canales, he wasn't the offensive coordinator.
No, that's what I'm saying. So Larry Scott made way more than that.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I got you. Yeah, like Mike Canales, coach JG.
I can't find what Larry Scott made this quick, but it was more than 300.
I saw a stat, and it's pretty horrible when you really think about it, but Josh Dobbs had twice as many 300-yard passing games in his career than JG did. And a reason –
Say that stat one more time.
Josh Dobbs, who a running dual-threat quarterback, actual dual threat, not what he was rated in high school, had twice as many 300-yard passing games than Jared Garantano did in his career.
I love that. That's a great stat.
I mean, like, yeah, he'd probably throw for 250 in a lot of those games, but he'd also Josh Dobbs would also run for 90 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's nuts. Larry Scott apparently only made $365,000, so that's not a big. Yeah, that's not a lot for an offensive coordinator nowadays.
Yeah, not what that 7-figure.
Not like Cheney.
Yeah,
Not Cheney.
7-figure bus
7X.
put up in the 7X.
Dude, I need him to speak publicly on it. I need him to speak public. I need him to be like, Jeremy Pruitt didn't let me do anything, because I can't believe he went from having a year play calling with Tyler, which I know he had Tyler Bray, but still, like, there was no even like resemblance of that on the in the play calling sheet. Okay, let's talk about Super Conference, because I can vent all day about just the absurdities that have gone on in Tennessee lately. So let's talk about the Super Conference. The Oklahoma and Texas. Rumor is they want to join the SEC. Can we, like, regardless of where you think they should be in there, can we just agree 16 teams is absurd for one conference?
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
With the current structure of the conferences now, 16 teams is absurd.
I mean, I think that you gotta think the SEC is trying to overtake the NCAA, right?
I would love that. I'm hoping Tennessee gets kicked out and we have to recreate the Sun Belt or something, or the Big East or something like that.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love something
like in football though. Like everything else, I don't really care about. Like you can stay it in baseball, you can stay it in basketball, but football is what's killing us.
Oh, you want to go like the legit Big East route? Didn't they have a bunch of basketball teams that didn't play football?
Villanova.
Okay, that's a good point.
They're not D1, I don't think, or they didn't.
Oh, in football, gotcha. Right. Gotcha. Yeah, no, it's I am in the So that is like, I mean, you can't even keep close to a semblance of your current structure. Like, you can't have 2 8-team divisions with an 8-game schedule. It's just absurd. And then you have to restructure. I don't know, because obviously you can't just go Oklahoma and Texas, or Oklahoma in the East and Texas in the West, or vice versa. Like, you can't do that like you did with Missouri and A&M.
I feel like that's what they do.
Yeah, just throw one in the East and one in the West.
And then you have a 9-conference game schedule.
Can we at least rename it so it doesn't sound so stupid?
The East and the West?
Yeah.
Make it North and South?
Sure. Just Dixie Stampede this thing. We should call the SEC just Dolly Parton's football conference, and then call it the North and the South, and we just got a good old-fashioned Dixie Stampede. Now let me hear you. Yeah, no, I'm in for that. Yeah, that would be great.
I mean, I feel like because you would keep the Texas, Oklahoma, and you wouldn't have to change any of those non-rotating.
Right. You at least have to go to a 9-game schedule. That's at the bare minimum. You have to go to a 9-game SEC schedule. And then I first off, I like the idea of 2 good teams like that in the SEC. It is funny though that Oklahoma and Texas are going from almost being guaranteed playoff spots with 12 teams. They wouldn't be guaranteed that in the SEC.
Reed Killer Dude's comment. That's a good point. That's a really good point.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, but you've long past that.
Right, yeah, you did it with A&M, and I mean, I don't think you should have added
Arkansas is not the Southeast. They're on the other side of the Mississippi, right?
Yeah, I don't
Geographically speaking, no. I
don't think Missouri and Texas A&M. So
right.
So my thing is, like, how do they get a say? Of who?
Only the Southeastern teams should be able to vote.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, dude, like, you don't have. You've been here for like what? 8 years?
Oh, let's really mix it up. Only the original team. So like Sewanee's in on this vote.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Like they're like board members. Yeah.
Do they even have a college anymore?
Yeah, they're definitely.
They do have a college? Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if they have a football team anymore, but they definitely have a college.
Okay. Yeah, first of all, like, you're going to lose Texas is going to lose the Longhorn Network. And they'll get more money from the SEC network, but I don't like, why do they want it? Why does Texas want to be in?
I gotta think
for recruiting.
Well, no, there's no. I mean, they have a big enough base. I would think it's more about conference importance, if that's the right word. Like conference, like your alignment. Like a mediocre SEC team is going to get in that. Maybe they think they're going to be out. They could, in terms of what the playoff could look like. They know a borderline SEC team beats out a borderline Big 12 team.
You got to beat Oklahoma. That's all you have to do in the Big 12. I don't understand. Like, you think you're going to come in here and get a chance at a playoff? Hell no.
I think it's a better situation for Oklahoma. I don't know if it's a better situation for Texas.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I think
I really don't think Oklahoma. I don't think Oklahoma is a top 4 team the past couple years if they're in the SEC.
I don't know, because we've only seen them play Alabama, the best LSU team of all time. Or did they play LSU that year? Or did LSU play Clemson?
It was
Clemson and LSU played in the final.
Right.
Ohio, they played LSU that year because Ohio State and Clemson played. So we've only seen them play those teams out of the SEC. If they played Georgia and Florida, they beat Florida the last couple of years. They probably beat Georgia. I mean, I think they're a top 4 SEC team, but we've only seen them play the best of the best. Like, that's it. So
they have to beat Texas usually to make.
But if you can
road gets a lot harder if you move to the SEC.
But you add Georgia and Florida as if you're looking at pipeline states for recruiting, which I think that's kind of invalid since SEC Network and social media and stuff. I don't think it matters as much. Obviously, it still matters. But now you can go recruit Georgia, Florida, the Carolinas, just as good as any SEC team.
Yeah, so that's I think it benefits some of those teams. I don't know the SEC teams that are voting on it. Why would they vote yes?
Yeah. Oh, money, if they're doing – if that's what we're talking about, money. You added one playoff team every single year. You had one playoff team guaranteed, and then you add probably another playoff team guaranteed every year.
But a team like Tennessee, why would you say yes?
If we're just looking at it from what these presidents and athletic directors are looking at it from.
Just money.
Not logic. Right, that's it. That's all they vote on. I mean, let's be honest.
It's so dumb. Because if you're wanting to get back to, I mean, maybe this helps them and they don't have to play Alabama every year, which I get. Like, I understand, like, you want to play Alabama, you're traditionalist, I get it. But, like, we haven't won in 15 years. I mean, like,
I've always been like, I like the Alabama game. I want to play Alabama every year, but I've changed my stance on it. I don't want to play Alabama every year if the same teams that I'm competing with don't have to play Alabama every year. So we're competing with the SEC East. Like, that's who we're competing with. We shouldn't have to play them if every other team doesn't have to at least have a chance at playing them, and every team doesn't have a chance. So, like, if it's rotating, that's different because every team has the same draw every year. It rotates. So it's totally different. But it's not on the same draw since you have a non-rotating. So I think it does need to go to 2 rotating, not 1 rotating.
Right. Yeah, so, I mean, if Texas comes in here and that takes away that Alabama, or they move Alabama to the East where everybody has to play them.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. I think the SEC schedule would be freaking awesome if you added those 2 teams and you had 2 rotating and your SEC East schedule. Obviously, I think you have to go away from 2 divisions. I don't know if 4. I don't know if 4 is the right answer, or I don't know if it's just going to like a. Well, that's another thing. I'll get into that. I hate that I'm about to do this. I'm about to vent about how dumb college football is. Here's why it's dumb. Everybody, what are we in it for? Say it after me. Championships. How many teams have a legit shot to win a championship? Not a lot. Like, first off, every team in Group of 5, they don't have a chance. Take them out. Doesn't matter how good you are. Doesn't matter how much you dominate your conference. You don't have a chance. So that's the first thing we should do. You know the Bugs Bunny where they cut off the Florida? The NCAA Division I FBS should cut off your Group of 5. Give them their own championship. But even then, Power 5. So how many teams are there? 12, 24. Are there 12 teams in the Big 12? 36?
Yeah.
Or in the Big 10, sorry. 12 teams? 36, 46, 58. 58 teams in FBS. Is that correct? Some in there, give or take. Independent, if you count Notre Dame, 59. Give or take a couple. How many, like, out of 59 teams?
It's probably up there, too. They're independent.
Who?
BYU.
BYU, yes. So 60
around
teams.
60 teams, yeah.
60 teams. How many teams legitimately have a shot? Because a 4-team playoff isn't a shot. So if you want to structure it like high school football, break them up geographically, and then play it, okay. Like, I think the high school model is fine if you want to do it that way.
What's going to happen is we'll add 2 more teams that, like, could legit. They're in a Oklahoma has Lincoln Riley. They can recruit. Texas is in a hotbed of talent. They can probably get to that point somehow, some way. I think it's a lot harder, but the SEC is going to want more teams, so they're going to try to open it back up where it's even more than 8 teams. They want as many teams as possible they can get in.
Is it an 18 playoff or a 12 team?
Is it 12?
I thought it moved to 12. Did it move to 8? I don't remember.
They went from 4 to 12.
Maybe it's 8. I can't remember now. Okay. But I mean, yeah, it's just like it's just really dumb to me when you sit and think about it, and you're like, there are teams that legitimately have no chance of winning a championship. So why are they even playing? Like, it's a participation trophy at that point for all you folks that are like, don't change college football, but are also like, participation trophies have ruined this world. Well, like, college football right now is one big participation trophy. That guy was on scholarship. Congratulations. There's billions of them. I know there's really not that much when you compare them to high school players that play. But if you've played high school football or watched high school football, you know the guys that are getting offered. You know the guys that aren't. Let's just be honest. And I always knew I wasn't going to be one of the guys that was. I just enjoyed my time in high school football. But then there's going to be those guys that I guess in college football, they just know they're not going to win a championship. So they're just there for fun.
So it really is 12 teams, 12. Isn't it?
It's 12.
That's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I think it's so stupid that, and I don't know how to exactly fix it. I mean, I actually do know how to fix it. Promotion and relegation, it's not that hard.
Yeah, let's just go. Let's just keep going. Do 64 until that ruins college football, and then we'll just go back to 2. We'll do the whole BCS over. It's like we're doing with streaming. We're basically making cable again. That's what we're going to end up doing.
You're reinventing cable. Yeah, we're just going to reinvent the BCS. Like, why 12? Take the one off in front. We're playing 2 teams. Only Alabama and Clemson are going to play for the national title for
because
the next 20 years.
It's probably going to be that, like, those people have all that depth. It's probably going to be the 2 best teams every year at the end of the 64. So yeah,
I mean, you're right. You're reinventing cable. I mean, isn't that kind of what they're saying with the 14 playoff? It's like you're just like isn't that like they were like it's the same 2 teams every year. So yeah, I mean, it's the same 12. Like it's the same. The 12 ends up in the same 2. So who cares? It's all funny. I think promotion relegation. I don't know if it fixes it, but it sounds fun to me. I want to see how far Vanderbilt can drop. I think Tennessee ends up in like the WAC.
Yeah, we're probably in like
so we're not quite to the actually the WAC is. Do you think the WAC's the bottom? It probably is.
We're probably like AA baseball, whereas Vanderbilt's like definitely in rookie ball.
Oh,
or
Vanderbilt's
they're in the Happy League.
Vanderbilt's playing JC this week actually. Yeah, I have more programs get into the playoffs. Hopefully, it dilutes the recruiting pool. I mean, maybe I could see. But
I think a reason why
isn't that
teams are able to beat out like Oklahoma and Texas is because they want to play in the SEC. You want to play in the highest classification until the NFL.
But isn't that even more of a selling point if you're like, yeah, now you really have a chance to play in the playoff? Like we can win 8-9 games a year, no problem. Sure, maybe we can't beat Alabama and then LSU and Florida in the same year, but we can beat we can get to 9 wins, get in the playoff, and then you've got a chance. Now, as a competitor, you're like, that's a roll of the dice, 50-50. Whereas like right now with 4 teams, that's not the case. So yeah, I mean, I think that's possible. I think it's possible. That's a good point from Killer Dude. I don't know. I mean,
but I think a big selling point when like a team like Missouri is going up against Oklahoma, that's a hard selling point. Like when you talk about where the programs are at, and geographically speaking, it's probably around the same for this certain recruit. But you can sell that you're playing Alabama. You're playing guys week in and week out. You're going to play on Sundays. But like if Oklahoma's here, you're not going to win those recruiting battles. If Texas is here, you're not going to win those recruiting battles.
No, I don't think Texas and Oklahoma affect. I mean, I think they get who they get because of who they are and how they win. I think has Texas A&M has their recruiting improved that much since joining the SEC?
I mean,
it's obviously not enough to overtake Alabama,
right? I mean, I think it definitely hasn't gone down.
I mean, their best player though went there when he thought it was going to. Yeah, they hadn't gone down. Of course, I mean, I don't think it would go down, but their best player.
But they've also got a better coach too in that time period.
Yeah, but I mean, yes, but I mean that would be. I mean, Kevin Sumlin was there in the Big 12 and the SEC, and their best player he enrolled in Texas at Texas A&M when they were a Big 12 school. Johnny Manziel, right? Johnny Manziel's the best player since they've joined the SEC, right? Like flat out best player. I'm not saying.
I don't know when was. I mean, probably him, but yeah, Von Miller's probably up there too. I don't know.
Von Miller he was like
probably he was before.
I think he was the 2013 draft, wasn't he? So did he play 1 year in the SEC?
Maybe I don't remember. I thought it was like right before
because he was in that insane. He was in that insane draft.
Yeah.
What class was that? I'm about to look it up now. Have you ever like gone through that class?
I love going through the classes, like especially the NBA, where like you can't recognize a single player in the
You
first
don't know
round.
any of them.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Paul Miller was 2011, so no, he didn't play in the SEC.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so
Miles Garrett's probably up there too.
So I think 2011 was the last year of the 12 SEC team, I believe. Anybody in the chat fact check that real quick? Do you know off the top of your head?
What was it?
I think 2012 was the first year of the SEC.
The expanded.
Yeah. I think so. I don't know if we'll be able to find A&M.
But it seems
16.
like Missouri and Texas A&M are going to be a no. So what does that leave you? You need 4 more no's, right?
They said, I don't know. Apparently the SEC bylaws say 11 of the 14 have to vote. Whereas if it was majority, it would be, am I good at math? It would be 7. Is that majority?
So you need.
Okay, A&M did have the number 6 recruiting class this year. So
you need 4. So you need just 2 more people to say no. Is that right?
I don't know. I don't know how the actual rules go, so I really don't know.
Okay. I mean, like, unless the SEC is just strong arming some of these presidents and just being like, "Hey, vote this way or don't."
Yeah, but again, money talks.
It seems like Texas A&M and Missouri are both going to say no.
Okay, I don't know the history of the Big 12. A lot of people are saying A&M and Missouri left the Big 12 because of Texas. I don't know the exact reason.
Like Texas, you want to like complain about the horns down thing?
Yeah,
that's all you're gonna get here.
Yeah,
that's it.
And I hope Greg Sankey legitimately doesn't try to punish that at all. Like, obviously you can't change the NCAA rules, but if about taunting and stuff, but just players doing it shouldn't be a penalty. If players are taunting doing it, then fine, whatever. I mean,
yeah, they score a touchdown and do like this.
Maybe Juwan Jennings putting that football in that South Carolina DB's chest was taunting. I don't know, but it was awesome. I'll take the 15.
I loved it. Yeah, you loved it.
So,
John Kelly doing that, you hated it. It might have cost you the game.
That's stupid. No, that should not be a penalty. He didn't do it on his face. So that's just dumb. So the last thing I'm going to say about Super Conference is I hope this means the end of the NCAA, like you mentioned.
Yeah. The end is near.
But I hope it means the SEC gets better officials.
Don't hold your breath on that one.
Also,
I think the NCAA would disband before we get better officiating.
Oh, probably. And then this, I guess, the last thing too. Sorry, the last of the last. Officially unofficial now. My last statement. I doubt Missouri and Texas A&M left the Big 12 because of like Texas and Oklahoma's level of competition. I'm sure it had something to do with like you said, people strong arming people making decisions that necessarily shouldn't have been because that's not their job. I'm sure that's what it was about. But if it was about competition, if the guys who vote no because of recruiting, that's stupid. You should be relegated.
Well, from what
you should want the 16 best teams in the league. Like
I kind of researched this a little bit today, and it like from what I got, it was Texas threatened to leave, kind of like they're doing now, and the Big 12 bowing down to Texas, and because that for a long time that was their cash cow was Texas. Bowing down.
It's always been Texas. It's still Texas. Texas and Oklahoma.
Yeah. So I mean, like bowing down to them. Oh, please don't leave, and they basically get to have their way with rules and regulations and things like that. So
good for them. It's called privilege. If you move out of Springfield, Missouri, and end up in Austin, Texas, you might have some say so too. Or not Springfield, sorry, even worse, Columbia, Missouri.
Or there's another one.
College Station's pretty kick ass. It's pretty cool. I can't hate on Northgate.
Dyersburg or no
Dyersburg.
No, God, what is that crap? I've driven through it like 1,000 times. Yeah.
Well, I was just commenting on the actual town that the University of Missouri plays in.
Carruthersville.
No one knows where that's at. No, people in Missouri don't even know where that's at.
I think it's on the opposite side of Dyersburg.
I think this was, if it's the wrong person, I'm sorry for giving incorrect shout out. I think it was Charlie Burris wrote an article like 6 or 7 years, a long time ago, about he did, if every SEC East team was a ride at Dollywood and they did Missouri, they did the Batman. He did the Batman ride and was like, the Batman ride is a ride at I think it was Six Flags, and he was like, just like the Batman ride, Missouri doesn't belong in the SEC East.
True. Very true.
They need to get rid of.
I'll say this: I'm glad we have
names.
Missouri and not Texas A&M.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Shout out to geography, because Missouri's a heck of a lot closer to the east than College Station. So,
and apparently Minnesota is way closer to Tennessee than Kansas is. So
Minnesota's a little bit closer. That actually. What part of Minnesota? I don't think it would still be true. I think Kansas would still be closer. In Minnesota, the top part of the boot.
I'm just like it doesn't make any. If you want to move closer to Tennessee,
yeah, you're right. It doesn't make sense. Okay, I'm getting off.
Yeah. Anyway, but there's one more point I want to make. There's only room for one UT. So like Texas, if you're coming to the SEC, like you got to get rid of that. Like you followed us, it's time to stop.
Yeah, but in my head, that's not even an argument. Like a lot of people are like, well, Texas is better. Texas is better than Tennessee at whatever sport. Like that's not the conversation. The conversation is Tennessee was the school. It wasn't named the University of Tennessee. I think at that point it was Knoxville College or something like that, or maybe Blount College. So it wasn't the University of Tennessee, but it was a school before Texas was even a state. And you wouldn't be a state without the Volunteers. So
Davy Crockett.
That's all there is to be said. And I returned to my homeland because it was we went down there when we were in College Station. We went to the Alamo, and we just kind of paid homage to the Volunteers that went there before us. Unfortunately, we fell short, unlike those Volunteers. But yeah,
Graham Morgan said Dyersburg or Caruthersville is the opposite of Dyersburg. So Missouri side of.
Wait, is that real?
Yeah, so like Tennessee and Missouri.
Yeah.
I
get like I'm
border
asking
each other. Dyersburg, like if you go in Missouri from Dyersburg, it's Caruthersville.
Interesting. I don't know where the hell Caruthersville is. I didn't realize that.
So like
I was thinking Dyersburg was closer to Nashville. No, I did. I guess I didn't know it was there. I didn't know Dyersburg was there. Yeah, I'm on a map right now. Tennessee has the most. We're geography guys. Tennessee has the most states that border it than any other state.
Suck that, Texas.
Is it 8 total?
Yeah, Texas doesn't have that.
I think it's 1, 2, 3.
It's a lot.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's 9. You're welcome. Caruthersville. Shout out to Caruthersville for having a casino. That's actually pretty cool. So better than Dyersburg. Originally, I said worse, but take that back. Big casino guy. All right. White cleats. Back. Good. I hate black cleats. I hate them. With Tennessee's uniforms, I hate them.
You hate black cleats?
I hate black cleats.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Like
I don't understand why people were mad about that.
Yeah, I don't.
Is it going back to the tradition thing?
Yeah, well, I think so. I mean, I think people, first off, it's July. People need something to be mad about regarding Tennessee football. But yeah, here's my thing about tradition. If you're tradition, I don't know if you're a traditionalist in that sense.
We've had white cleats in the past too. So
that too, but like, shouldn't Tennessee just wear like the long sleeve jersey? The long sleeve jerseys when they wore leather helmets, like those. Shouldn't we have to wear that if you're a traditionalist?
I think when it first started, they were just barefoot, so we should just do that.
That would actually be entertaining if Tennessee was barefoot. But if we're just talking about uniform, first off, I think the white cleats, I do hate what they look like right now. I hope those are not permanent. I hope Nike was able to produce like white and orange cleats. That would suck. Those don't look great. They look better than black, but they do not look great.
I think we look
like a high school football team.
Hey, whatever. I don't care. Just score points. Just win.
Yes, obviously. If you're scoring in those cleats, I don't care. But it's like those look like when like when your high school football team purchases, like they're like, here's a catalog. Everybody's getting the same type of cleat or like the same colorway. You just order what kind of you want. That's what they look like.
Okay.
They're not Tennessee. Every other school gets their cleat. It's like what we had with Butch Jones, like when Butch Jones was here.
Like I haven't really done a deep dive in them. I saw they were white, and I was just like, okay, 1,000 times better.
They're
than
just
black cleats.
Like they're clearly like stock. Like it's very obvious they were not made for.
Well, so I went to the new Dick's, and there are these. and they are these like cleats, and they have the black outline, but it's
Yep.
still what is that what it is?
That's what they are. So exact stock cleats, like you can get them anywhere.
Yeah.
Whereas like what Tennessee had before when they had white cleats were gorgeous. So I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah. Those are
Like they're just the newest model of Nike.
yeah.
So I'm hoping like the Tennessee ones haven't come in time. Obviously, they're not ugly, like they're not terrible, but they could be better. We're
Sven
Tennessee.
from Germany.
I love it. I love when he comes in. Instead of that Mississippi State logo. I'm an official Mississippi State hater because I hate cowbells, except when actually more cowbell. I'm a fan of cowbells, more cowbell. But I do hate that they're good at baseball, just because I don't know. It's fun to hate at teams.
Yeah, we're pretty good at baseball too, though.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure.
What were we talking about? The white cleats. Yeah, I mean, do you like the leg sleeve? Would you wear a leg sleeve?
No.
You kind of got one going on. I mean, it's tattoos, but it's
yeah. I wouldn't cover my tattoo. That's the point. I'm just kidding. I mean,
it kind of looks cool. Wait, I don't think I can pull it off.
Which leg sleeve are you talking about? The one that Jeremy Banks wore of the bands, or the like shooting sleeve over the leg? Did you see Jeremy Banks?
Yeah,
looks like an NCAA player.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, he looked good.
Well, I can't wear that because I'm of the wrong skin tone. But
right. Like I would never. I beat the Braves. Oh yeah, thanks, Finn. Yeah, you beat Vanderbilt. I appreciate that.
Oh, that is a good point. I was a Mississippi State fan that week. I'll say that.
Yeah,
that's a good point
for sure. But yeah, like kind of like it looks cool. Just like a shooter sleeve, like it looks cool. I would never wear it, but
yeah, I just know cool. I can't pull it off, so I'm not gonna try
it. Yeah.
That's the gist of it. I'll say so.
Play good.
Yeah, I think stay away from black jerseys because if the ones we saw that'll retail, I'm out on. But I will say, like what Chad Fields has been saying for a long time, Tennessee needs to go to a structure like BYU. Stay orange and white, but just have different like designs. Like if that pisses off the traditionalists, they're not traditionalists because every design you would use would be a traditional design.
Right. We've had different design jerseys before.
And you've had different logos on said jerseys. Like that would be a great look. And you would never have to get rid of the white helmet because that's a lot of people's hang up is the white helmet. Which is fine.
And also a white helmet is not going to look good with black jerseys or black uniforms.
Correct.
So
I think the ones we wore the night Lane Kiffin busted them out were so ugly they were gorgeous. I loved how weird and tacky they looked.
I mean, it was just double birds to whoever told him no. He probably wasn't going to do it until they told him no.
That's a good point. I mean, I just like the orange pants were so ugly that year. They were very Halloween-y, and it was on Halloween. Obviously, you had the white helmets. You had the no logo jerseys that they stitched the Adidas on. I mean, it was, and they were, the jerseys weren't quite as tight as they are now, tight. They were getting there, but these were baggy as all get out. It was it was so much fun. Like that was a fun moment.
Yeah, I think the only time you wear black cleats is on Halloween. It's the only time.
Okay, I like it. Have them in the equipment room just in case.
Yeah, I mean that's we actually play on Halloween this year, so that would be cool.
Do it. I think we're away though, aren't we?
Probably. Hey, still bring them out.
Bring them out.
But I also think that, like, I think teams. I mean, obviously, you couldn't play Mississippi State and Alabama in maroon jerseys. That would look stupid.
Bad news, Landon. Saturday is the night before Halloween. Can't wear them.
Damn it. Maybe we start at 8. The game goes into midnight. We come out.
Oh, we have a bye that week. I was wondering why it wasn't on my calendar. Thank you, Killer.
Oh, so we have a bye that week. Okay. Never mind. Damn it.
I was trying to figure out. I was like, it doesn't say there's a game because I don't know about you all, but I go on to UT. If you go on to UT Sports, you can download the schedule.
Okay.
It goes to your phone. Yeah. So fun stuff. We have, first off, Graham Morgan said nothing will be worse than the All-Star Game jerseys this year. I assume he means MLBs. Yeah, they were terrible. They were.
I don't know how like that gets worse, and also the NBA Finals logo gets worse every year.
Well, the NBA Finals logo is the same, isn't it?
Like it's switched. It's kind of different.
Well, they just changed the number.
Yeah, they changed where they put the number and stuff. Yeah, it just looks worse and worse from.
Look it up. And then Sven had a real question. He asked, real question, what is going on recruiting for the Vols in football? He hears nothing out of Knoxville, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah, I think it's more of kind of recruits are waiting and see what Tennessee's going to do. I think there's intrigue with the offense, and the stats are there to kind of back up Josh Heupel. But you got to kind of prove it at this level.
Yep.
And so with, I'm sure teams are recruiting against Tennessee saying, hey, they're going to get hammered in recruiting. They're not going to be able – you're never going to get to play in a bowl game. You're never going to get to play in a championship game because of the allegations and stuff coming out. So – and Tennessee can't really deny that because they just don't know. It's not done. They don't have their final sentencing yet. Yeah, they can say, no, that's not true, but you can't give them a definitive answer what is true. So I think that's working against Tennessee a little bit too. But, from a recruiting standpoint, I think you've gotten some kids that your staff has done a really great job of selling the program. Some that had, offers from Georgia, Florida, Alabama. But you're not going to get like Branson Robinson. He was never going to come. Literally
they committed to Georgia today.
Yeah, literally on the CBS broadcast, they said they compared him to Nick Chubb, number one.
That dude's not real. I refuse to believe that is a human being.
Yeah,
There's no way.
And then they compared him to Mark Ingram. I was like, okay, well, you can just take our hat off the table.
It's so stupid. I'm surprised Georgia got him and not Bama.
Well, Bama has the number one running back already committed, so.
Stupid. How long before unis look like NASCAR with all the sponsorship? Not a chance.
With Georgia's uniforms last year looked kind of with the dog chain or whatever, looked pretty.
They just looked ugly. They didn't look like NASCAR. NASCAR's never produced anything that ugly.
I don't know. Some of those jackets that they wear in those. Do you remember when that was a trend where people used to wear like NASCAR jackets?
I think it's still a trend for a certain community.
Right.
I don't think it's ever a trend outside that community.
I thought it was.
I've never personally owned a NASCAR jacket. I never got into NASCAR. I maybe watched like 5 Jeff Gordon races growing up, but that was it.
See, I used to watch NASCAR, but I would never be caught dead in one of those jackets. Number one, it's not comfortable.
I don't know I never even tried one on. So
it's like
it looks like a Letterman jacket.
It's pretty similar to a jean jacket. Like there's no comfort in it.
There's comfortable jean jackets. Yeah.
No. It's not comfortable.
I own it.
You wear a hoodie because it's comfortable. You don't wear a jean jacket because it's comfortable.
What level of comfort am I going for? A light jacket that doesn't weigh me down? No, I'm not having this argument. Jean jackets can be comfortable.
Oh my God.
And I had a warm jean jacket for a while that I would have kept, but it was like Brody's dead grandfather, so I couldn't keep it. It was an awesome jean jacket.
I didn't know they gave out jackets at all cost.
I was like, Brody, I'm going to steal this. And he was like, my mom won't let you because this is my grandfather's. And I was like, well, okay. I'm not going to let that lady go crazy on me. So
right. That's probably fair.
She's okay with me saying this publicly. She knows I love how crazy she is. So
yeah.
It's fine.
You called her hot on Facebook the other day. I
didn't call her hot.
You didn't call her.
I just said she was a good-looking woman. That's true.
That's kind of
not the same. That's not hot. Would be an infatuation, I feel like, of her. I don't know, maybe not. I guess these can be interchangeable, but she is a great-looking.
So
I know she posted her age on the picture. I'm not going to say her age, but that's hers to say. But for her age, especially, she's just a good-looking woman in general. I'm sorry, Brody, we're diving into this. Landon made me.
So you don't think she's hot?
If Julie's listening, yes. If Brody's listening, no.
Okay.
All right. Let's move on. Get out of this one.
Tennessee baseball.
Baseball. It's back again. We edited our intro for baseball. We've got
that was a heater, dude. I like that.
Thank you.
Jay Wilk on the track.
Yeah, so we officially have Tim Priest, John Wilkerson, Burt Bertelkamp,
John Fulkerson,
Trey Smith, Peyton Manning made an appearance. Thank you, Peyton, for doing that for us. Phil's on it. There's some legends on there. And then there's that dude who's like
Oh,
From is it De La Salle? I think that's who it is.
Is it?
Are they in Michigan?
De La Salle is in California.
Are there two De La Salles? There's some.
Maybe. They probably are.
Probably.
The De La Salle's where Henry Toto is from.
I don't remember. But I think he was in the Michigan State Championship game.
Well, Tony Vitello spoke to the media yesterday and had some news for Vol fans. He mentioned that permanent bleachers are the hope for next season down the third baseline. Wanted to have it. He said more permanent than the bleachers that were there during the.
I think he was talking about for
regionals?
this year. It may not be quite what the right field line is, but it'll be better than this past year.
Right. Yeah. So more permanent or better than bleachers, whatever that.
Yeah, means. I think it'll probably. If I'm guessing, it means. I actually know. I really don't know what he means. Like maybe it'll be
like I was thinking more of like the first baseline where it's not necessarily seating, but it's like standing, like it's like another deck.
But I feel like if you're able to build the base of it, then you just throw because it is bleachers in the right field line once you get out past the baseline.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know.
So that's why I'm like I don't know what he means by that. Because I mean, maybe in his head, they want to put bleachers seats over there. Mm-hmm. So like in his head, the right field line, because we haven't heard what the plans are. So maybe it is what's on the right field line currently, and then because I would imagine eventually they want to build a full stadium like you would see at a minor league park, where right now you don't have that.
Yeah, but adding seats or
coming soon.
Adding, I don't know if he's adding seats. More people are going to be able to come to the game.
That's right. That's right. That's absolutely right.
So yeah, he mentioned that. I thought that was really cool. I think that's something important to him. I think that's why that they brought in those bleachers for that reason to kind of surround the stadium.
Yeah, and he mentioned he's like we're in the stage with our stadium that we were when we first got here on campus. Like we were losing guys because they were like, well, we know. We like what you're saying, but we're going to go to guys who have already won. And so, now it's the same situation in the stadium. You have recruits that come in, they're like, we like the stadium as it is, but could be better. So we're going to, where we believe in what your future for the stadium is, but these guys already have it. And so he's wanting to wow recruits now with the stadium, and that's what their goal is.
Right.
Like they've wowed recruits that they're winning. And
I had a coach tell me he's at another place. He was like, I'd love to be at Tennessee because I can literally recruit from my couch, because that's where Tennessee is at right now. They're not having to.
But Tony Vitello wouldn't let you,
right? Yeah,
because
he's going to be out recruiting because that's his thing.
I don't remember where he was at last week. He was at some big tournament or 2 weeks ago, I think.
He was in Atlanta.
He's
in Atlanta right now. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Is it just a dead period for football? I just assumed when it was a dead period, it's a dead period for everybody.
I don't know. I don't know when the dead periods are for. I assumed it was. I don't know. I'm not telling on him. He wasn't in Atlanta.
it would make sense. Like when you think about it, it would make sense if they were
right.
The exact same.
Yeah. This is the. I don't know. I guess you can go walk because Rick Barnes and them are watching. I don't know if you can contact people, but they were at the Nike event and the Adidas event, and they were watching. I don't know if they. I guess you couldn't talk to players, but I guess that's not stopping you from going on the road and watching.
Right. Well, I think it's zero contact. So, I mean, maybe you can make up a lot and be like, I was there because my nephew was there. But I would think surely.
Yeah, they know more about it than we do. It seems like Rick Barnes.
You're right, and that's bad. I'm applying law to a situation that the NCAA doesn't apply the same logic. So
right.
What the rules are.
And then Vitello mentioned that got some more 6-year guys, the COVID year, taking advantage of that. Luke Lipsius, their first baseman, batted .240 last season, tied for the team lead in home runs with 15 and 42 RBIs. Also led the Vols in hard contact. That's a stat. It is now. And that's a stat you want on your team. So Luke Lipsius led in that category and started 64 of Tennessee's 67 games last season. So really good to get him back. Ton of experience, guy that can really hit the baseball, and a really good defender. I think he's an underrated defender. Had a really good year at first base last season, and that was going to be a question mark if he wasn't coming back. Who plays first base?
Yeah. I mean, that was a behind probably catcher.
Yeah, the biggest kind of question mark.
Because, I mean, you had infielders coming in that, they're new and young, but they're also really talented, so you weren't as nervous about those two. And both of those have been addressed. Did you mention the commit or transfer?
Not yet. I was going to mention Redmond Walsh is also that guy joining Evan Russell and Luke Lipsius, getting that extra year of eligibility. He had an ERA of 2.52 with 5 wins, 1 loss, and 39 innings pitched, 36 hits, 40 strikeouts. So a great year for Redmond Walsh this past season. And another guy in that bullpen. Tennessee's going to have a freaking stable out there in right for all those pitchers that they have in their bullpen. Camden Sewell, I mentioned Redmond, Kirby Cannell, Elijah Pleasance, Jason Rackers, Seth Halverson, the transfer from Missouri. Just a ton of arms. Ben Joyce is another one that we didn't get to see this past season due to injury, that can hit 100 miles an hour. So, yeah, you got a ton of arms coming out of that pen. So I think Tennessee's goal is to kind of like they were last year, get to the 6th, and then kind of let Sean Hunley take over from there and get us to the victory. I think Tennessee has a lot more options this next season, and Redmond Walsh is just another guy with a ton of experience and a Tennessee guy, local kid, Alcoa. So good to have him back on campus. And then Matt McCormick, the transfer.
Big time question mark answered.
Right, yeah. You lose 3 guys, 3 catchers, Connor Pavoloni, Jackson Greer, and Pete Durkee. Those were your 3 top catchers this season. You lose all 3 of those guys. So, yeah, definitely a question mark at the catcher position. They thought maybe Colton Kessler was that guy, but he looks like he's signing a professional contract, so it doesn't look like he's going to make it to campus. So, go with your next option. That's Matt McCormick. Was a freshman All-American. I think he hit he had 30 RBIs this past season. I'm getting his stats. Hold on 1 second.
Now pull that up, and I'll just look at the baseball's dead period is way different than football's, which makes sense. Yeah. So it is. This is according to past seasons, this was the 2019-2020 schedule, but pretty much all of July, besides weekend of July 4th, all of July was contact period. So
okay, cool.
And
so we're doing it the right way. We are
all August, pretty much, or the first half of August, I should say.
Yeah, because I talked to Kiv and he was on the road, so I just assumed they were good.
I mean, we knew they were at least in some type of period, whether it was an evaluation period or what.
So Matt McCormick batted .364 in 2020 with 11 RBIs in just 16 games, 3 home runs, and then 2021 batted .280. I had 30 RBIs, 7 home runs, and that was in 51 games. Started 49 games of their 51 for West Virginia, so pretty good catcher. Another guy with some experience, so we'll have 3 years of eligibility left, and a guy that they can come in and probably play right away. Right. I think Charlie Taylor is going to be another guy that hopefully they can fill kind of that void, whoever wins that job. But I think they have 2 pretty decent catchers now that, that was a big question mark coming into next season.
Yeah, agreed. To see that need addressed. We also had
he's left-handed too. That's kind of strange.
It's very strange for a catcher. Isn't that like the least left-handed populated?
Right. I'm seeing if I know he bats left. He throws right, so he's
there you go.
Yeah, so that's I want to check and make sure before I said anything. But yeah,
did I make that up? Isn't that like really rare for catchers to be left-handed?
Yeah, it's not very often. I don't even know. I don't even know if I've seen a left-handed catcher. I'm sure they're out there, but I've never seen.
I wonder what that one-arm catcher is.
Yeah, that's true. He had to be.
I actually think he's left-handed. I feel like I remember his being on his right.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, he's pretty big. 225 pounds, 6'1". Pretty hefty fella.
Yeah. Sven said you need 10, 15 solid pitchers for a season. When you have Tennessee had probably more than 3 legit starters on this team, was really disappointed how the season ended. Because they probably could have, their starters probably could have gone deeper than just about any team.
Yeah.
Now, relievers and closers wasn't necessarily Tennessee's forte.
Right.
You had guys, you didn't have depth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I don't think we had 15 solid pitchers in this bullpen. Next year, I think you can maybe, we got to see what happens. But, coming into the season, you feel good. I think you're right in that range, 10 to 15. Easy.
Yeah. Agreed. And then, I guess, are you ready to go into questions? Anything else for baseball?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Sweet.
You want to hear a crazy stat? It's not baseball related. It's football related. Tennessee last season had 3 running backs that are on this season's Doak Walker Award watch list.
Cool. Moving on.
That's insane. Like, there's no way that's ever happened before.
Georgia.
That's probably true.
And those guys are still at their school, though. That's the thing.
Right.
So who else is on that list? Jabari Small, Eric Gray,
Ty Chandler.
I forgot he transferred. I was thinking he was eligible to graduate out, but I'm curious because North Carolina lost a lot. Can Ty Chandler do it? He's gonna have the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, and I think the ACC suits his skill set a lot better than the SEC did.
Maybe. I think he's probably in a better situation. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah,
I would agree.
He's got a really good quarterback behind him too.
Yeah, he is. Yep, in front of him actually in most offenses, Landon.
Or beside of him. He's somewhere.
Just making sure you knew football. I don't know if you know football, Blake, but
I was trying to go.
I don't know how much you know about football.
Did I say behind him?
You said behind.
I did. I meant to say in front of him. I was thinking iPhone. I'm sorry.
I don't know how much. I don't know how much you know about football, Landon or Blake. I'm gonna run that joke into right now. Did he say that? He didn't say obviously not a lot, right?
I'll say this. So my work had like a big football, like flag football tournament.
Did you play or coach?
Well, my department didn't ask me to play. I was like, yeah. I was like, okay.
Did you guys even have enough in your department to form? Did they go out of the department?
So it's like the origination department.
Not specifically your little department.
Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say, there's not even 7 people in that department. They just went out and recruited over you.
Yeah. They kind of did. But I was like, okay, well, cool. Well, so another department was like,
oh, wow. Working out NIL deals.
Yeah. They're like, hey, can you play? I'm like, yeah, I'll play.
Landon's got a revenge game on his
Oh, dude. I was heated. I was so mad. Like,
that's funny.
And I like these people. I was like,
no, you don't. Not anymore, at least.
Like people just like, they're like, he played college football. Like, oh, we didn't know that. They're like, did you ask him?
It's also still I hope I'm not anymore. There was a time in my life like people would look at me and be like, I think I could come on my team.
Exactly. That's what I thought.
Whether you know if I'm an athlete or not.
Slimmer build. I go to the gym every once in a while. But yeah, nope, didn't get asked. So I was like, okay, well.
There was a time in high school, like when I'd go to camps and stuff, like people before they were like, that's the fastest guy out here. Like I was always selected as like one of the fastest. And I was like, you guys are going to be very disappointed here in a minute. Because even in my better playing days, I'm on the field, not the fastest. Not even close to the fastest. But yeah, that was always the treat for me. I was like, oh, you just wait till this happens.
But yeah, that was probably the first time in my life I wasn't picked on a team. I was upset.
Dude, if I could go back right now to 3rd grade kickball, I would intentionally not pick you and then cut. So this is how I would, if I had a time machine. I'd go back to 3rd grade, not pick you. Had that on the show, I would remember and be like, no, Landon, remember that time I didn't pick you? That's what
You would always pick me.
I would have long played that joke.
You would have picked me. You're too competitive. You would have picked me.
No, I can win on my own in kickball. You kidding me?
Fake news.
Get out of here. All right. We have a question. Kick it off here. I don't know if any on Twitter.
I was a 5-star, Caleb. 5-star kickballer.
It's about your heart though. What is your heart?
Oh, I'm definitely a champion of life. If that helps.
Good deal. Guys, how do you feel about Nike since we switched back to them? Do you honestly think our unis are better as opposed to Adidas? That's from Killer Dude 35. Shout out Killer Dude for being active in the chat. We love it. Yes, I think the Nike uniforms are way better than Adidas.
Adidas sucks.
Well, I don't think Adidas sucks. I just think when it came to I think at football jerseys, I think they suck. I've got a new pair of Adidas shoes coming this week. I can't wait.
Yeah, I like Adidas shoes. I don't like I like
Adidas clothing.
Yeah,
I like clothing.
Yeah, their jerseys.
They're football jerseys specifically. Like even their soccer jerseys, I like. I thought their NBA jerseys I liked. But yeah, they're. I mean, not like their weird ones, and not the sleeved ones. The sleeved ones are stupid, but just their normal basketball jerseys. But no, I think for Tennessee, if you go look at color orange, how much it changed when Adidas had it, it was insane. Whereas like football, maybe it's changed a little bit. This is where we need to have Chad on, but not enough. Like not enough to be super noticeable. You had God, what were those Adidas? Those like NCAA create a team looking ones, you know about? The big stripe. Was that an Adidas jersey? I think it was. Those like NCAA create a team mode, like you know I'm talking about that big stripe down the sleeve.
I'm sure.
It was terrible. There were some terrible jerseys with Adidas. It was awful.
I mean, just think of our gray jerseys when Adidas.
Yeah, those were kiddie. I mean, and they were just orange ones and white. That tire track thing?
Yeah, what was that? Yeah, that was.
I don't know.
Not great. Not great at all.
We also have a question from Tennessee Vols -TV. Is our defense better this year? Gonna go with no. I don't know. I mean, can they be worse?
Yeah, probably not. I don't think they're going to be like.
I don't think it's going to be a drastic improvement. I think you're going to be.
Yeah.
I think you're going to be good. You're going to be okay in the secondary, but the problem with being okay in the secondary, well, I think they'll be good in the secondary, but if you don't have a pass rush, if guys at the line of scrimmage are helping, you know, in the run game that much, your job in the secondary becomes infinitely harder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm worried about pass rush. I'm worried about linebacker.
I will say this though, for the defensive line and pass rush in general, I think there's going to be elements of the defensive line this year that are really, really good because I think Rodney Garner is a really, really good coach.
Mm-hmm.
He's proven that time and time again. I'm probably going to eat these words in a year, but that's fine. We'll come back and snip this. So
I think Tennessee's going to be pretty good defending the run. I just don't know about pass.
Because I just don't think there's going to be that. I don't know who that dominant guy would be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you can. I think you can make things happen in the pass rush with multiple guys. But if you don't have a dominant guy and then run game, like I said, you can with the dominant guy, it just gets a whole lot easier. But in the run game, it's much easier to defend. Or use bodies really that are decent to defend. You just can't have one just terrible guy. Other than that, you don't need a dominant guy to defend the run game. Right. That's what you need in the pass game. I don't know if you have that, but I'm with you. I think the defensive line will be pretty good.
And I think with this offense, you need turnovers. And, you know, last year we didn't get hardly any turnovers. And that's where I think you need an eraser. And I just don't know if one is on our roster.
And what sucks is what's changed for the defense. So, I don't think people have given, you know, how much the quarterback game's changed in the last, 5-10 years. I don't think enough how much the defensive end game has had to change in the last 5 years. Think about how much easier it was to sack 10 years ago. Now you got to have a guy who it's not just about getting pressure on him because you don't have to sack the guy to get interceptions years. You just have to put enough pressure on him in the pocket. Now you have guys escaping, scrambling, and you've got to for the entirety of that to force an interception. You have to be better at actually physically getting to the quarterback now than you used to.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Jared Barnett was so good.
Yeah, and Corey Vereen, you know, those guys were like. I don't know if he called Corey Vereen an eraser, but he was really solid for an opposite end.
I don't know how good Corey Vereen would have been out without Derek Barnett because I don't think he was a dominant guy, but he was so good when he got into like mismatch. Like he was able to take advantage of having Derek Barnett on the opposite side. Like he was like, oh, I can. If you give me a mismatch, I can get it.
Because he's never getting double teamed ever.
Right, never getting double teamed, never had the pressure shading to him, or never had the protection shading him. If he got by a guy, it was him and the quarterback.
Yeah,
and
I think that's what made that secondary so good. And with Cam Sutton and having a guy like Derek Barnett is just. But I don't think Tennessee has that eraser on their roster unless we haven't seen it so far. Maybe one emerges. Maybe Dejon Terry, maybe Byron Young, Roman Harrison. Maybe one of those guys steps up. Tyler Barron, but we haven't seen it up to this point. So
nope. Unfortunately, we probably won't see it the first game. I completely forgot it was on a Thursday. That's so sad. But we won't see it first game, but you'll see it for sure.
Yeah, and you got to finish picks. I mean, we had to lead the country in drop picks last year, right?
What, 2 a game? It felt like.
Yeah, Kenneth George, Flowers, McCullough, none of them could catch.
Yep.
Hopefully they with Willie Martinez, he does a lot of ball skills because that's what we need. I mean, they were kind of in the right position at times, but I mean, crap, they just couldn't finish a pick. And with this offense, as fast as we score, you can really put a team out of the game if you're able to get a couple turnovers in their own territory.
Yep, they got to do it. I did look up that video, by the way, of the intro. It is Warren De La Salle. So I was right.
Okay. De La Salle.
Warren De La Salle. I don't know if that changed for you all.
Okay.
I think they're not as good as the De La Salle.
You're kind of – am I cutting out a little bit?
It might be in I'm seeing I don't have great connection right now. So I'm just living on that Comcast. I mentioned
there you go.
Which I know you have Comcast too.
Yeah, I'm plugged straight into the router. I don't know if you're using Wi-Fi.
Oh, big dog. No. Hardwired.
Yeah, man.
Hardwired. Big hardwire
guy. What's trending?
I have a bunch. You just want me to run through real quick?
Yeah.
How do you want me to do this?
Yeah, just fire them off.
Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom.
Oh, wow.
First one. This one's coming at you. Kind of a shot at you. Giannis. NBA Finals MVP. 50 nuggets. 50 burger. He's 15 made free throws. 17 made free throws.
17, 19, yeah.
19? Okay. I was like, keep adding them up.
He was 17 of 19.
17 of 19. Giannis, dominant. I doubted him. I was just like, I feel like if he's had, I don't know. I doubted him, and he proved me wrong. I mean, I bet 10 on the Suns.
I mean, the game before, he was 4 for 11 from the free throw line. So, yeah.
You hated Sunday morning. It was kind of fun.
I mean, even a bar, Crow Bar and Grill, I don't know. You saw this?
I saw this. Go on, though. Read it.
Had a Tuesday night special for the game. Got a free shot on every Giannis made free throw. So,
but
17
what's funny,
free shots.
That sounds like a shit talk special. Wasn't that a Milwaukee bar?
Yeah, I think it was, but they didn't think it was going to be 17.
I guess that seems like a Suns bar.
I mean, he literally hit 4 the last time, so yeah.
It makes sense. My next one, Ted Lasso, new season drops tomorrow or like late tonight, maybe. I don't know if they're doing it episode by episode or not. If you haven't watched season 1 on Apple TV, do it. It is one of the best, in my opinion, like the best new shows. It's very unique and it's just a good TV show. It's not about soccer. Obviously, it helps to know soccer, but it's not about soccer.
Okay.
It's just comedy. It's entertaining. Big Ted Lasso guy. Olympics. The Olympics are really not being talked about as much as I feel like Olympics normally get talked about. Do you even remember like this is an Olympic year?
The only really thing I've heard about is the sex beds.
That's what actually I have about the Olympics. Sex beds, which apparently isn't actually a thing. Apparently one athlete was like, no, definitely not a thing. I don't know if that means he had sex. Congrats if so. But he was like, no, these beds are fine. They're just cheaply made. Like a lot of temporary housing beds. He's like, you could definitely have sex on them. I think.
You're right. And also, like, I read this somewhere. It was like, these are the best athletes in the world. I think they can have sex standing up.
That too. And like, also, if they were like to like get people to not have sex, you just need to redesign Olympic Village. If you get hundreds and hundreds of young adults together, they're gonna have sex. That's pretty much that's what a college is.
Mm-hmm.
And you're lucky. These people, these age, in great shape, aren't just big orgies right now. Like, you should thank your lucky stars.
Wow.
I mean, come on. Like, not even that. You know my theory on when people go and study abroad. They're also all foreign to each other. So, like, things definitely get weird there. So it's like, they're young. Like, you should just redesign Olympic Village if you don't want them to have sex. So it can be anti-sex. Let's just be honest with ourselves.
Right.
Let's not be dumb about it. You think these people are doing missionary all the time? You mentioned they're the greatest athletes in the world.
I saw a video of somebody, and he literally, like, frog splashed on the bed, and it didn't collapse or anything. So I'm not sure. It's just not comfortable.
Was it Michael Phelps?
No.
It's probably not a real frog splash. He's an amphibian, so. My next what's trending. Do you have anything else about the Olympics? Oh, I do want to mention, because Graham Morgan mentioned Monica Abbott's 2-0 for USA. Why do they not have an actual softball field? Did you see how they were playing?
Yeah, that's weird.
This is the Olympics. It looks like they're playing in like a weekend softball tournament in Johnson City.
Yeah, they got the yellow over the fence, over the top of the fence.
They have a temporary fence up. They have like the base. You run on second base on grass because they just walk it into the infield. The pitcher's mound is still there. They just pitch in front of it. It's absurd. It's absurd.
They don't play softball in Japan?
I'm pretty sure they do. If not, they should at least have the infrastructure to build stadiums for the Olympics.
Monica Abbott is 2-0. Graham Morgan said that. Yep. She is 2-0. How old is she?
She's old, dude. I remember her like pitching it like I went to like I did some kind of camp, and one day they like brought her out there. No, it was at the halftime of a basketball game is what it was. And they brought her out there to pitch to show how fast she pitch and like all of her pitches. It was like
that was a halftime show?
I guess like a promo for like the season. You know how they usually bring the teams there to like I guess that's what that was. And they brought out a cage and like a radar gun, and just had her slinging it. And she was throwing like 60 plus miles an hour, which is absurd. She's good. She is good. Not was, sorry.
Boss. Straight good.
For sure. My last one, not my last one, two more. Masters tickets. Nobody got them. Once again, never got sold that's won the lottery. If you've won the lottery, the Masters ticket lottery, let me know. Because I've never seen it.
Have you never seen somebody win?
Never. Like everyone that I know that's gotten tickets knows someone who's like always got tickets. Like if I ever get to go, and I'm hoping that maybe next year, it's someone who actually knows someone who always gets corporate tickets.
I feel like they should just add more tickets.
Well, they have like all the people who get them every year, like the corporate ones, and then they have like for the peons, they have a lottery drawing because so many people.
How many are there?
Fair. I have no idea, but it's tickets for like all the practice rounds. Like you can buy or like select tickets to buy for like the practice Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday round.
So this is like the super regional. Like when they did that, like there's actually no tickets.
There's no tickets available.
Gotcha.
If you either are someone or know someone, DM me, tell me like you've won. I need proof. Like I need your emails. Like because all I've ever seen is "We great to inform you." I've never seen congratulations. Yeah.
Shame on you.
Shame. Actually, we already talked about Horns Down. But Horns Down. Eli Drinkowitz, he's the nerd's like, oh, is that a thing? Were you still doing Horns Down week?
He was a big rock on guy in his day. He probably still is, actually.
For sure. He's a low five guy, like when the recruits come in. Come on, give me a low one.
Oh yeah, he's to the ground. Oh, for sure.
Like, come on, give me a low five.
For sure.
Then I have sunbathing. It is really trending this week. The sun is doing a great job. Did you see Bruce Arians in the White House?
Yeah.
That boy was red. He fell asleep like deep water or deep sea fishing, right?
Probably. He was
had to.
It looked like he was still in his Cardinal gear.
He looked like he comes back from the Bahamas. That's exactly what he looked like. Or when Andy comes back tan. It's when he's on the boat.
That's right. Yeah.
Doesn't he come back like months later? But he's on the
Right.
boat. Yeah, burning. Yeah, that Andy.
He goes with his brother or something. That's right.
Loved it.
Just leaves Aaron on the dock.
It's like in the grand scheme of things, she's lucky. She was mad originally. She's like the way that trip turned out. Real glad you got.
Yeah, for sure.
You have any what's trending?
I got one. It's overtime rules in college football. Did you see this?
I did. I'm actually kind of a fan for regular season. I'll say that.
Teams are required to go for 2 points after a touchdown in the second overtime. However, starting in third overtime and beyond, teams will only attempt 2-point conversions until game is decided.
So I do like that for reason, just like I like the NFL doing in regular season, doing 1 quarter. In tie, if you're tied after 1 quarter of overtime, you go to college ball rules because then that's like a shootout. It's like a penalty kick shootout. And then I am a fan of college football doing that in the regular season, but I think in the postseason, I think it should be NFLs. I think you should play a quarter of those over.
Yeah, I'm like one of the best games in Tennessee history is that game against Arkansas that went into 7 overtimes.
I don't know if that's one of the best games. Third games. Sure.
Yeah. Or what about we played Vanderbilt. It was
the LSU and A&M game.
Yeah.
Like
that was a great game.
7 or 10 times.
Yeah, that was a great game.
That was a terrible game. I was trying to leave that bar. Really.
But it was cool.
I guess.
Like it was something you don't see. Like the going for 2.
I drank 3 $8 Capri Suns because that game wouldn't end.
That sounds like a you problem.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I
just don't know why change it. I don't know. I guess college football just keeps changing. It's going to get to the point where we don't even like it anymore.
I don't know about that. I do watch Maction. I think I like the college football rule.
Well, if they got rid of Maction, they'd make them play on Saturdays all the time. That'd probably be the next thing.
I would burn the institution down. That is a threat, NCAA. I mean, I like the shootout, idea of a shootout, but postseason, you're like you don't want postseason games to end that quickly. Like the reason I like penalty kicks in soccer is because you just played 30 extra minutes. Like you have plenty of time to try. Like football playing
not
1 quarter.
A score.
Yeah, like football playing 1 quarter would be fine. Or 2 people score. That would be awesome. Like one team score, another team score. You get goals and you get penalty kicks. That's the freaking dream.
There you go.
That's the dream right there. Although golden goal is such a cool way to end a game. I love it when hockey does it. When soccer,
walk-offs are awesome.
No one does
They're
it now.
electric.
Walk-offs are the best. Although what I hate about baseball, I hate that only one team
can walk off.
How cool would that be if when at least like in overtime, the innings flip-flopped? I don't know if that'd be possible. I don't know. But every team has a chance at a walk-off then.
Yeah, I guess that pitcher has to stay out there for another 3 outs.
Dude, speaking of dumb overtime, freaking baseball is incredibly dumb. Putting the man on second.
Yeah.
Again,
I think that's just a regular season thing, though.
It is okay. I was about to say, for the regular season, you want the game to end, but you want it to end without a tie. Yeah, do that. Things to accelerate the ending. But
yeah, I think that's just. I'm pretty sure that's just regular season.
Okay, then I don't mind it.
That's all I got for what's trending. I got a lot of stupidities though, and I can't wait.
I think I only have one. I'll double check it, dude. If my brother called me and I missed that again, me and my brother have a 3-day game of phone tag going on.
Nice.
We haven't gotten to hold each other in 3 days. Called each other at least 3 times a day.
Nice.
I was gonna answer it if he called during the show, but I didn't see him call. So yeah. Let's see. Tiger Woods. Did you see this? No, it's not Tiger Woods. Z. Do you see their tweet about Tiger Woods? They're video released of Tiger Woods smiling and having a great time just before his car crash. It's you think he knew he was going to get in a terrible car accident? Tiger Woods was laughing and in good spirits day before LA crash. New video shows.
A day before? We're not even talking like in
not even like the hours.
not even
before.
right before. Yeah, like a day before. Okay.
24 hours before. They're like, yeah, someone check out this guy. Having a great time just days before a terrible accident. Come on.
Yeah,
get it.
What a joke. How dare you? How dare you, sir? Mine is Wes Rucker. He so Tennessee tweeted the Folky going to Mayfield.
This one I kind of for my first time I kind of felt bad for him. Not bad for him, but like he didn't mean it.
He said noted MILF aficionado towards local dairy giant. I don't know if you're calling John Fulgerson a MILF. That's probably offensive.
He's saying I think he's saying he's an aficionado of milk or MILFs. Like he knows MILFs, loves MILFs. He's a big MILF guy. Like he's a big milk guy, but also he's a big milk guy, but he's also a big milk guy. If you know.
Well, if your phone's auto-correcting to that, Wes Rucker, you're probably a MILF aficionado.
I know my phone would. I've never typed milk in a text message. I'm not going to confirm nor deny if I've ever typed MILF. So
I'll see if it does it.
I mean, I think mine would say milk.
Yeah, mine just says milkshake.
Mine wants to go milky, so that's interesting. It's like you did. He's like, it's like, bro, you need to add that.
You want that Dave table.
He's like, you need to add that Y. Like, go on. We know you want to. And they're right. I do kind of want to. All right. Let's do wait, you said you have a bunch.
Yeah. So Nebraska.
Okay.
Tweets out a graphic. Nothing to see here, just a friendly interaction. Hashtag the good life. And it's a picture of a Nebraska football player tackling a Iowa Hawkeye in like the ocean, which doesn't make any sense. But it's funny because Iowa then comes back and says, interesting photo choice because it's been 2,425 days since your last good interaction with us.
That's great. Good job.
Damn.
Shout out to an Iowa fan going and digging that up.
No, it was the football account.
Oh, it was the actual football account?
Yeah.
Oh, that's bad.
Got hammered. But yeah, dude, you can't tweet that out like, why don't you just have your own player? I don't understand. I don't know.
I don't get it either.
Read the room, buddy. That intern was probably fired. Rightfully so. And then I got so Candace Parker is on the cover of the new NBA 2K. She's one of the cover athletes. Jonathan Stone, what a moron, says she's awesome, but 6 people are buying this game for her. She says, no, Jonathan, because in his bio he said he does a podcast. She says, no, Jonathan, that's the number of people that listen to your podcast.
It's a good number.
Boom.
You're lucky to have 6. But that was a good roast.
Boom roasted.
It's a great roast.
And then Barstool Bench Mob. This was stupid. I don't know who runs that account. It says most passionate college basketball fan base in every state, and it has Vanderbilt.
Oh, yeah.
For Tennessee.
Maybe 10 years ago.
I've never met a Vanderbilt fan.
Probably maybe 15 before Bruce Pearl got here. Bruce Pearl was.
But then it was probably Memphis, right?
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
What an idiot.
It's a very good point. Are you have any more stupidities?
Yeah, I do. I'm not going to say who this is. You can kind of read between the lines. But, dude, if you're a senior and you're transferring, don't try to trick a team that you're committing somewhere else. Just announce that you're committing and go. Did you see this?
I don't know if I did. I think I know who you're talking about, and I saw that commitment today, but I don't know what happened prior. So,
gotcha.
Yeah. Not
You
sure.
want me to send it to you?
Yeah, go ahead. Please. My last one is Deion Sanders.
This was dumb.
He got mad because people were calling him Deion at media days instead of coach. He said Nick Saban you wouldn't do this to Nick Saban. You call him coach. And apparently they called him coach, or they called him Nick 11 times at SEC Media Days. I don't know. I mean, I'm not at the level Deion Sanders is, but I just don't understand that. And I'd be interested to see if he's called every coach he's been around coach. Like, that would be an interesting thing to find out.
Yeah, it's a real
Maybe he
shame
did.
that your parents called you Deion. Probably they probably still call you Deion. Do you correct them?
Good point. It's a great point. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he had a different – because I feel like when I was growing up, that was like everyone's thing. Like, if I'm a coach, like, you call me coach. I don't have that thought process. I feel like not a lot of people I'm around now have that thought process. So maybe he grew up in that environment, the same similar. Like, I would say the majority of the coaches I've had wanted to be called coach. Some didn't, and like they were fine with being called whatever. But I feel like I understand if he probably played for those same people, and maybe that's where he picks up from. I don't know, but just a weird hill to die on, that's for sure. And you should probably fact check the Saban thing before you say it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like if you're talking to somebody and you're not their player.
Right. That's even – I think that's the bigger deal for me.
Why should they have to call you coach? You're not coaching them.
No, 100%.
You don't call them journalist.
They had – Pardon My Take had on some coach. I think it was
Bruce Arians?
No, it was Wade Phillips, the defensive line coach for I think the latest team, St. Louis, before he retired. Okay. No, I think he's at Houston now. I can't remember. Anyways, they were like, so apparently you didn't like people calling you coach. He was like, no, like if a player called me coach, I would call him player. He's like, I don't call you player. You call me coach. It's like, that's such a weird thing to weird way to say it. I don't know.
Let's see where he's at.
He's old. He might be retired now.
He retired. The last team was the Rams. You did right.
Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was thinking. I mean, he was at Houston at one point. I think when J.J. Watt was there, I was thinking he went back to Houston one more time.
He was the interim head coach in 2013
for Houston.
Yeah, and then he went to Denver, and then he went to the Rams as their DC from 17 to 19.
Gotcha. So is he going 1 kilometer an hour, you think, or
maybe?
Oh, he did say MPH. All right, cool. All right. What's our any more stupidities?
That's all I got.
Shout out to Eric Kane, just doing his own interview of Josh Heupel at the media days. Did you see that?
Yeah, dude's an animal. He's killing.
I loved it. I was like. So when he asked him that, I was like, come on, ask him like another question that clearly isn't your question and just keep this rolling.
Keep it rolling. Yeah.
And I immediately when he asked that, I was like, Carson Newman guy. He's going to find out.
D2, yeah.
He's going to find out if he's played that team or not. How much did Carson Newman, I know y'all when you were at school, went to Colorado one year.
Yeah, School of Mines. Then we went to Wayne State was in Detroit.
Gotcha. So not a whole lot of traveling, but some. You got some here and there.
Yeah.
Sweet. That's all my stupidities.
That's all I got as well. It's been fun.
It's been fun, guys. Thanks for chatting it up. Thursday. I like it. Tomorrow's Friday. This podcast will be out on your Friday as you head to work, hopefully. Or it will be up by the time you head to work. Hopefully you get to listen to it. Thanks for all the live listeners. We love y'all. And thanks.
Yeah,
loved it. It's been fun.
Special shout out to the people in the chat. That was fun. It's a lot better episode if people are involved, especially now when we don't have a ton to talk about. So, love all the questions. Appreciate y'all. We'll be back Sunday night, and that's all we got. It's been rocky. It's gonna be rocky until we get to how many days we got? 43.
Dude, someone posted about it, and I hate this because you obviously know I'm talking about it. And I think I should say something for how excited I normally am. I'm not I've been so battered. I just don't care like I used to. A lot of people I don't.
You will.
I'm still really involved. I know the schedule back and forth. I know I still know, I'm keeping up with I'm obviously keeping up with it, but it's just I'm not big on the countdowns this year. I don't know what's happening. It's I'm missing. That's another good example. I just feel like I'm not as involved as I normally am.
I feel like I'm more excited. I'm definitely more excited for the tailgate than I am like this season.
Oh yeah.
Because we didn't get to do that last year.
For sure. And last season sucked.
Right.
In general.
Right. And we're losing the people we did. You don't know if it's going to be a ton better. Hopefully it is. I had a guy tell me today at work, he's like, we're going 8-4. I was like,
I'll say this. I think that's a ceiling.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So like
but to be confident in 8-4,
yeah,
then
it's probably not your ceiling. I will say this: I don't think it's necessarily. It's like a cathedral style ceiling in your home. I don't think it's a very reachable ceiling, but I think it's possible. Like I think it's there.
The schedule definitely sets you up where the path is there.
Right. I think a lot of people are gonna be like, that's a very sheep comment to make. And that's fine because if you want to take that one part of me saying I think it's possible, then that's fine. But I think realistically you're looking at a 5-7, 6-6 season at most. Like if you win 7 games, it was probably 6-6 in a bowl game, in my opinion.
Yeah, going 8-4, like
that's 8 regular season games.
You can't lose to anybody
that you shouldn't.
Right. Because you're not gonna beat Georgia, you're not gonna beat Florida, you're not gonna beat Alabama. Who else on the schedule?
Georgia, Florida, Alabama. You still have Ole Miss on that schedule. You still have
Missouri
who's trending in the right direction. I think Kentucky's going to be worse than they were last year. Which I know they beat us good last year, but they really just beat one guy.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, 8-4 would be – I didn't even think about that when I was just kind of thinking 8 wins. So, yeah, 8-4. Now you're talking 8-4 in a bowl game. I want to kind of take the ceiling comment away. I'm with you. It's not impossible, but that's a tough one. I think 8 wins is tough, let alone 8 wins in the regular season.
Yeah, I'm going to have to see some defense before I think we're going to win 8 games.
Hey, if you beat Pitt, let's freaking go.
Yeah, you're going to be 3-0 heading into Florida.
I don't think you beat Pitt.
Yeah.
I don't think you do. So do that, and I'll be very excited.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Love it. We'll be back on Sunday.
We're bringing the boat in, and we out.